Hi, I'm Johanna Rothman, and this is my July 2024 Pragmatic Manager newsletter, How to Reframe the Lack of Money Conversation and maybe get what you want. Years ago, as a director, my VP Fred told me there was no money for raises. I looked at him and asked, "Really? No raise money?" Even though all the senior managers just went for a week to do strategic planning at a fancy dancy resort, Fred said, "Nope, no money." I wasn't done asking questions. Even though you're doing some kind of a big party at the user conference in a couple of weeks? He shook his head. That's one of the reasons we have no money for raises. But we need to keep the people, I said. That's how we can ship the product as often as we do. He cocked an eyebrow. I don't care about retention, he said. Salary matters more than retention. I want people to leave so we don't have to pay them. Surprised, I asked, even though we won't be able to ship as often? Yep. I was lucky. Fred and I had a frank, yet disappointing conversation. That's when I realized the money for raises was partly about the project portfolio and partly a cultural issue of what's important to whom. Let me start with the culture. Rewards reflect the culture. Unfortunately, that organization's senior management was great at spending money on customer-facing events, but terrible at planning for the future and managing risks. The company had trained its customers to wait for the end of quarter sale when we decreased prices every quarter. Worse, the company had no idea why things took so long. That was a problem of the cost of delay due to multitasking. I did not know how to measure that cost of delay then, but I knew it existed. As with too many organizations, we spent more money than we anticipated before seeing the returns on that money. However, even though Fred didn't consider retention, I asked for a different form of reward, personal book allowances, and team-based training. I knew I would not get approval to send people to conferences. Those rewards focus on personal and team-based learning, the culture I wanted to reinforce. Fred did find a way to pry money out of senior management, as he said, so I could offer those rewards. However, even though I got what I wanted, those rewards did not make up for not giving people raises. And people left once they realized the company would not compensate them fairly for their work. Although I won the battle, I totally lost the war. That's because management's attitudes towards the people who worked there were incongruent. Everyone could see through the excuses. Congruence and respect matter. Every leader chooses where to spend money. Spending money on strategy decisions? Sure, that makes sense. Although an entire week of strategic planning offsite is useless. Spending money to reinforce customer relationships? Sure, that makes sense too. But not spending money on the people who do the work? That shows disrespect for the people doing the work. And it breaks the implicit promise organizations make to the people who work there. That action is incongruent with a healthy culture. Even worse, Fred and the other senior managers could have solved this problem by changing the project portfolio to having more teams on fewer projects. Change the project portfolio to find more money. While money does not grow on trees, managers can choose to fund fewer projects. Then they can choose to add more teams to those fewer projects. Assuming those teams collaborate, the teams can complete these fewer projects faster. Read the newsletter about flow metrics to see more details. The customers were clamoring for 3 of this company's 7 projects. I have no idea if finishing those projects earlier would have changed our cash position, but I'm sure it would have. However, an incongruent culture where managers decide they are more equal than others tends to create a toxic culture based on hierarchy, not valuable deliverables. Toxic cultures can succeed as long as they pay people to stay. This organization did not. Reframe the money conversation to responsibility and choices. When managers decide to withhold raises, they don't keep one of their essential promises to the employees. And there are certainly times when companies must make tough choices about what to fund and when. However, that is always a choice. If you worry you can't find enough money to do it all, first rethink what you must do. Those are the challenging portfolio choices. Use cost of delay to decide which work will make you the most money fastest. Then eliminate as many of the other projects as possible and assign more teams to the most lucrative work. Then decide who will get raises. Will it be the senior managers, the middle managers, or the people doing the product work? Will you ask anyone to take a pay cut? Finally, have honest conversations about the company's situation. Consider asking everyone for their suggestions about what everyone can do. But years later, people always remember how you made them feel, even if they don't remember or know the circumstances. Be as congruent as possible and search for better decisions than Fred made. Managers take the responsibility for creating the culture. You can too, even in difficult times. This newsletter touches on topics in these books: practical ways to lead an innovative organization, practical ways to lead and serve, manage others, diving for hidden treasures, uncovering the cost of delay in your project portfolio. Manage your project portfolio, increase your capacity, and finish more projects. Link below. Learn with Johanna. Want to write well and fast? Enroll now in the writing workshop for Q3 2024. If you write fiction, I have options for how you can use this workshop for your content marketing. Several of you have asked for individual consulting in similar ways that I work with corporate clients. That's why I have 2 new offerings focused on individuals. Johanna is a mentor for a year, and your personal trusted advisor. Links below. If you're interested, email me for more details or sign up on those pages. I have all the links if you're new to the Pragmatic Manager newsletter below. I thank you very much, and I will see you next month.